Okay, I'm going to be doing a reading today, a requested reading from Santhoshi, Jaini, and the first one is going to be for Jimin. I have done readings for these gentlemen before. It's been a while. Jimin and Taeyun are members of the boy band in Korea boy band. And so we're going to see what's going on with both Jimin and Taeyun. Normally I don't look up the people before I read that for them. I did look these names up because I wasn't sure. I had to refresh my memory about them. And they're currently apparently in the military. In Korea, they have mandatory military. So they're doing that right now. So I don't think they're out and about performing. But that's beside the point. I'm going to do Jimin first, and I'm going to look and see what the cards indicate for the next 2 months for Jimin. This is for entertainment purposes only, so, you know, it is a tarot reading. But it is kind of uncanny how these things kind of work. I'm going to be using this deck, the Golden Tarot. I use this a lot with my political readings. And I'm going to do a horseshoe spread. The first thing we're going to do is we're going to pick a significator for Jimin. And let's see who we want to pick. Now, these are creative people. So I'm thinking it's going to be a nice wands, a wands suit. Let's see what we can come up with for Jimin. It's a great deck. It's a Golden Tarot by Cat. I think it was Cat Black. It was this is an old deck that was in. It was recently republished again, not recently, in the last couple of years. Still available, I believe. I know this might be interesting. This is the Eight of Wands, and it kind of looks military to me. It's like these wands are coming down on people. So this is a lot of action. This is a lot of things happening from a tarot perspective, but I also think that this is kind of a nice significator for him since he's doing the military service right now. So let's keep this. I have to keep an eye on make sure this comes inside the viewfinder. I'm gonna move this over. Okay. So, Jimin, for the next 2 months, let's see what's gonna happen. I don't read reversals. If anything is in a reverse position, I will change it out. I haven't done a reading in a while. This is fun. Horseshoe spread. I'll check in the viewfinder to see how these look. Oh, that's pretty good. Let's see. I'm trying to get a bigger situation set up, more of a permanent setup for a camera and doing tarot, but I haven't quite got around to that because I'm working on a book right now. Okay, so let's see what's happening. We start here and we go around. This is the recent past. The Six of Cups. Six of Cups is a wonderful card. Shows a lot of nostalgia and family, connection to family. So in the recent past, he's had some contact with, or the support of, or he's been thinking a lot of his childhood. And it's the Six of Cups. It's a very gentle, kind, open, loving kind of card. And that's in his recent past. It's the child in him. So he's had that support, that child support in his life. Either thinking of the past, nostalgia, or just people around him that are very accepting. Where he is right now, the Knight of Wands. Okay, so Knight of Wands is, the wands are fire and their creativity. It's a lot of growth, and this is the Knight of Wands. So this is, he's certain of his path, and it's also interesting that it is the Knight. It is a military type person. So he is in the military right now, I believe, and it's the other interesting thing about this card is he's looking at it that way, which is usually the past. So he's in this situation. It could be him in the military now. Maybe he is something that has to do with the military is reminding him of something in the past. He looks successful. He looks contented. When you read tarot, you can also look at the pictures, how they look and the expressions on their face. This is definitely moving forward, only it's moving backward. But there's movement in this. So it looks like I think he's finding it to be, maybe the stint in the military has been good for him, and he's enjoyed it, or is enjoying it. Hidden influences. The Moon card. Now, hidden influences, the Moon card, this is all intuition. This is all information that's below the surface. So hidden influences, he's being influenced by either subconscious or below the surface aspects to his life, something that is hidden and secretive, but also very emotional. So his hidden influences have something to do with his unconscious or subconscious. There's something there roiling away that it can affect him. Now, whether it's good or bad, we'll find out. But this is kind of a very interesting card, the Moon card. It's a beautiful card. The obstacles in the next 2 months. The Ace of Wands. Now that's interesting too. So this is a very creative force. It's the beginning of the wand suit. It's the beginning of fire. It's the beginning of creativity. And this character, this angel, is looking forward, sort of. But see all the fire around him. But this is an obstacle. So we'll have to think about how can the Ace of Wands, which is normally a wonderful beginning of something. It is the beginning. It's just the beginning. Could be a obstacle. Now, I don't know how that could be an obstacle. I'll have to think about that and see. Look at the cards around it. The community. Community is the High Priestess. The High Priestess is someone who is guarding the truth, guarding the door, guarding the way inside. It's also a feminine nature, emotional in some ways. So it's someone guarding the doors. Now, if you think of this as a community, this could explain what's happening with the community. The community is just kind of in a holding position, waiting to see what happens next with Jimin. It's a major arcana. It's a powerful card. It's guarding knowledge. So that's interesting. Now, where will he be in 2 months? 9 of Wands. I don't know what's going on with him, but it seems like, again, we have these wands, this wands here, wands here. We picked the wands. Well, that's something I picked. But there's 3 wands. So this would indicate possibly a military stance, but also it could also mean his level of creativity or what he's been through. Wands are very interesting because they're fire and they're growth. They're something that can spark, but it also can come to ashes very quickly. The 9 of Wands is getting almost to the 10 where there's completion, but it seems like he's still in the middle of it. Now you notice these these two wands are looking backward. This one and that one is looking that way. So this could be something that he's experiencing now. It's making him think of the past. And the struggle has been there. He's been in a struggle situation, but he's coming to the end of that. And then where does it all lead eventually? Strength. So I would say, this is very interesting. Strength is a wonderful card as well. That this experience that he's having is bringing up a lot of issues. It's making him stronger. It's making him reflect on his past. It has been a struggle, but he has been learning a lot from it. We're going to use clarifiers with these. This is such a pretty deck to look at. So the other thing to look at when you're reading cards is what is lacking in this. What does he not have in the reading? He doesn't have any swords. Swords are mental anguish, and there's no swords in this, so that's good. He's mentally he's clear. He doesn't have any issues with his mind, with concerns over worries or problems with communication. He has no sword, so that's good. He has cups in the past, nostalgia issues, but there's no other cups in here. So the romance or emotional issues are not there. There's things that are hidden, and these two cards here that are most intriguing. The Moon, which is the hidden influences, and then his community, which is the High Priestess. These are very mystical cards. And then outlining those are the wands that we see, which I could say is maybe indicative of the military. Now, would I have said that otherwise? I don't know. I know that he is in the military, but I think he has embraced it and has learned a lot from it and is willing to go forward. And in some ways, it's made him stronger in many ways. And the Ace of Wands here, which is his obstacle, I said his creativity maybe have been put a damper on in some ways, or he has to be careful with his creative nature, because it's kind of the situations he's in now is stymieing him. In other words, he hasn't been able to express himself as much as he'd like to creatively. But let's look at some of these clarifiers. The Moon here is hidden influences. Let's look at that. We got the Six of Pentacles, the Fool, and the Seven of Pentacles. Pentacles are very practical, and they have to do with, very practical things: home, job, money. So here we have the Moon. This Moon card is here with a lot of underneath emotions, subconsciousness, things that are hidden from him. And it has to do with, I would say it has to do with the Pentacles, where here we have a Six of Pentacles, which is where you give of yourself. You're very a giving nature. But then we have the Seven, which is kind of, evaluating where you are with something, a certain job or certain pursuit. So there is that, and then there's the Fool card, which is a brand new energy. So I would say the subconscious part of this has to do with his job, or maybe the money that he's gotten, or the position he has, where he's wondering if he should be going in a different direction, something brand new. He has been very successful, and maybe he's evaluating how to continue or how to change that trajectory, because there is this Fool card here, which is a brand new energy entering into this. Now, does he know this? I think this is what he's struggling with. Like, what should I do next? Should I go continue making money? Should I go in a different direction? And that's what this is all about. And this kind of leads into this situation here with the Ace of Wands. You know, should he start all over again in something? He's pondering what he's going to do afterwards. And he's thinking hard about it and long about it. Judging from the High Priestess, maybe he's getting some counsel from somebody. And so let's look at these two cards. Where he'll be in 2 months is the Nine of Wands. He's completing a cycle. And he's not sure where to go, I would say. Let's see. Let's tell us more about that. The Knight of Wands is back here. Well, he's looking at the future. That's interesting. The Five of Swords. A 5 comes up with swords. More Pentacles. My Pentacles. So I think this would describe him coming to an end, but it's not there yet. He's gone through a lot, and he's almost finishing, but there's other things on his mind, and I think that what's on his mind is looking forward. He does want to pursue some artistic or creative endeavor, but he still hasn't figured it out. He's conflicted in some way with the Five of Swords. And part of it may be the financial aspect of it. That will also play into this situation. But what it comes out at the end is his strength, is the Strength card right here. And we'll pull some cards on that. The Six of Swords. It's a new, in some ways it's moving on. It's moving away from the past and moving forward. It's in the boat. The Six of Wands, or the Six of Clubs. So we got two sixes. Sixes are good. They're stable. And we have another Strength card. So what this says to me, this is pretty interesting too. We have two Strength cards here. So at the end of 2 months, he's going to have yeoman strength. He is going to be a really strong person, probably unrecognizable in some ways, and because he's had successes, he's had success to move on. He's evaluated his past and ready to move on, and he will be successful in that. And then his creativity was also moving forward in a positive way. I think the fact there's two Strength cards in the same position is pretty unusual. So I would say that at the end of this 2-month period, he's going to find himself in a very strong place, a lot of strength. So what do we have here? We have a very interesting 2-month period. There's some struggles involved. There's some searching for knowledge in many aspects of his life. He's trying to find out who he is, questioning where he's going to go next. When he finishes up, he'll have the answer, and he'll know which way to go, and he'll be stronger for all this that he's gone through. It's not that it hasn't been a difficult road, but it's been a changeable road. He'll know what to do, and he'll have the strength to follow through with that. Okay, I hope you have found this reading interesting, and I'm going to do the next one soon. Have a great day.